Johannes Kepler was born on December 27, 1571, into a world where people believed that the sun and planets traveled around the earth in circles. Although he was born to poor parents and was a weak child due to being born too early, Kepler was very smart. It was his intelligence that allowed him to go to the University of Tübingen on a scholarship, later receiving a degree in Lutheran ministry. While attending the university, Kepler became very interested in Copernicus's ideas. Many of them he later defended in his book Mysterium Cosmographicum, or, in English, The Cosmic Mystery. Later on in Kepler's life, during the time of the Counter-Reformation, which was a period when Catholics were reforming their churches and Lutheran believers were looked down upon, Kepler left his job teaching math in the city of Graz to go to Prague. Prague was the city where he would study under the famous Dutch astronomer Tycho Brahe. When Brahe died, Kepler used Brahe's data of Mars's orbit to discover why Mars had such an unusual orbit, a problem that every astronomer at the time struggled with. After 8 years studying the data, Kepler finally figured out the reason for Mars's irregular orbit was because it had been orbiting not in a circle, as was previously thought, but in the shape of an ellipse. Shown is an ellipse, which is the same as an oval. Upon making this discovery, Kepler developed his two laws of planetary motion, which he explained in another one of his books called Astronomia Nova, or, in English, The New Astronomy. His first law states that planets move in the shape of an ellipse, with the sun at one of the two focus points. The focus points of an ellipse come from a circle being stretched out to make an ellipse and are what becomes of the center of the circle. This first law went against the previous belief that planets follow a perfect circular orbit. Kepler's second law says that the closer a planet is to the sun in its orbit, the faster it will orbit, while, the farther away it is, the slower it will orbit as shown in this diagram. These discoveries may not seem too crazy today, but during Kepler's time, they were huge. Because of Johannes Kepler, we now have what is called celestial mechanics, a section of astronomy where scientists study the motions of objects in space. Kepler not only proved that the sun was the center of the solar system, but he opened up a whole new field of study in astronomy. This field is now one that is used by thousands of scientists around the world, including scientists at NASA, to discover new groups of planets in space.